find your comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. You can sit in easy pose like I'm doing, one ankle in front of the other. You can sit cross-legged, you can kneel, just whatever works best. And since you're at home, if you do have a pillow or a blanket that you want to sit up on top of, that will make it a little bit easier for your hips to open so that you can sit up nice and tall. So take a moment to settle into your seat. So feel the ground underneath you. Feel the space around you lengthen through your spine, lengthen through the back of your neck. Soften through your face and your shoulders. And let's just start with 3 great big deep breaths. So next time you breathe in, fill up as big as you can. And hold at the very, very top. And then when you're ready, big open mouth sigh, let it go. And again, just like that, inhale, fill up. Get as big as you can, expand, inflate, take up space, hold. And then exhale, big open mouth sigh, release. And do that one more time. So biggest inhale you've taken all day long. Hold in fullness. And when you're ready, just sigh it out, let it go. Seal your lips gently and start to cultivate your Ujjayi breath. So in and out through your nose, gentle constriction in the back of your throat. So the inhale is just like you're taking a gasp, but in very, very slow motion. The exhale is like you're fogging up a window, but with your lips gently sealed over the breath. So see if you can start to create that whisper noise, that oceanic sound with your breath. Give yourself just a moment to simply sit and breathe with awareness and kind of connect to your own internal rhythm. So use your breath to bring you into this moment. Use your breath to start to calm your central nervous system. So slow it down, smooth it out, and just follow it with your awareness. And you can take as much time just sitting and breathing and connecting with your breath as you would like. As you feel ready to move, take your breath with you and transition forward onto your hands and your knees. So find your tabletop position. And absolutely no rush getting here, but once you are on your hands and your knees, just start to explore some movement with your spine. So maybe cat-cows, inhale to arch and exhale to round. Or if you want, you can get a little more creative. So moving your spine just in any way that feels right. You can draw big circles with your hips. Might even just feel good to sit back into a child's pose and give yourself a few breaths resting there. If you want to stretch your wrists or your forearms, you might spin your fingers back to face towards your knees. And just gently rock forward and back, side to side, or even around in little circles. So think of this as your warm up. You're warming up your spine, you're warming up your body. And you're just kind of noticing what feels good and what might feel tight or sore or stiff. And then as you are ready, no rush, come back to a neutral spine position, tabletop. Bring your knees out a little bit wider than your hips. And on an inhale, right arm reaches out to the right all the way up to the sky. And as you exhale, thread your right arm underneath you. So reach through as far as you can and then come down to rest on the outside of your shoulder and the outside of your head. So I like to kind of bring my left hand forward and lift up to my left fingertips and then really press the earth away. So it's like I'm trying to gaze underneath my left elbow or my left armpit, turn my chest towards the sky. That's just one variation. You can do whatever feels right to you. Maybe wrap your left arm behind your back. You can extend your left arm forward. You can interlace your left fingers with your right fingers and just gently pull your right arm a little bit further through. So your pose, your expression, and really focus on breathing into your back body and creating space in your back body. Take about 2 or 3 more deep breaths. And then if you do have your left hand lifted, bring your left hand back to the ground. Next time you inhale, unthread your right arm, reach it all the way up, open up, and exhale, set your right hand down. Before we take the other side, downward facing dog. So spread your fingers nice and wide, tuck your toes, lift your knees, and lift your hips. Take a few breaths in, down dog. So don't worry about getting your legs straight. You can keep a big bend in your knees if that feels better. Focus on lengthening from your fingertips all the way up to your sit bones. Imagine that there's a seat belt fastened around your waist and it's pulling up towards the ceiling or up towards the sky. So find that lift coming from your center and create more length in your spine and your side bodies. So try to get all the rounding out of your back. And then big deep breaths. Take about 3 more rounds. Maybe you shake your head yes or no. Maybe you move your hips from side to side. So just feel into this pose and get as much as you can out of it. Really create space here. Create length and stretch. Breathe into those tight spots. Take 1 more big inhale. And then as you exhale, just gently bring your knees back to the ground. Make sure they're a little tiny bit wider than your hips. And then on an in-breath, left arm reaches up to the left, or out to the left and all the way up. And then exhale, thread your left arm underneath you. So come down to rest gently outside of your shoulder, outside of your head. And then take it wherever you would like on this side. So you can do exactly what you did on the other side or something completely different. Big deep breaths into your back body. Slow, steady, and smooth. Maybe this side feels very similar to the other side, or maybe it feels completely different. So just noticing and observing. Sometimes I like to kind of move my hips from side to side and just see how that changes the way I feel the stretch and where I feel it, how I feel it. So little tiny adjustments that really do make a big difference. Take a couple more rounds. Bring your right hand back to the ground if it happens to be lifted. Next time you inhale, unthread your left arm. Reach it all the way up. And exhale, bring your left hand down. As you're ready, downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, lift your knees, lift your hips high, lengthen your spine, and breathe. So you've got about 5 deep breaths in your down dog. Create as much space and as much length as possible from your fingertips all the way up to your sit bones. Maybe you play with lifting your toes away from the ground and spreading them. So even if you can't press your heels to the ground, you can still lift your toes and just notice that line of tension down the backs of your legs. Breathe into that. Take 1 more big inhalation, so fill up as big as you can, and then exhale, look forward, empty out, step, tiptoe, or hop to the top of your yoga mat, forward fold. Feet about hips width distance apart or even a little bit wider. Make sure all 10 toes face forward. Grab opposite elbows for ragdoll pose. So let your upper body be heavy. You can bend your knees a little bit or even a lot. And think of reaching your forearms towards the ground as you lift your sit bones towards the sky. So rather than rocking back into your heels or leaning back into your heels, come slightly forward, turn your toes and the balls of your feet. Give yourself just a couple more rounds to be in your fold. Breathe, big deep breaths. And then then with your next inhalation, find your halfway lift. So fingertips to the front of your shins, get your spine nice and long, get all the rounding out of your back. Exhale, fold. Do that again one more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Crown of your head reaches forward, tops of your thighs press back, sit bones broaden. Exhale, fold. And then let's roll one vertebra at a time all the way to stand. So let your arms and your head hang very heavy. Go slow, no rush whatsoever. And then at the very, very top, your head stacks over your spine. Take a few rolls with your shoulders up, back, and down. And eventually, when your shoulders roll back and down, keep them there. Open your palms to face forward. Stand in your mountain pose. This is Tadasana, mountain pose. So think of standing tall, standing well, standing strong. Take a big, huge inhale. Hold in fullness. And then big open mouth sigh, release. Come back to Ujjayi breath. Inhale, arms to the sky, stretch. Exhale, heart leads you slowly all the way down into your fold. With your inhale, halfway lift, spine parallel to the ground. And exhale, refold. Root through your feet, rise to stand all the way up. Inhale to stretch tall. And exhale, hands to heart. One more time, just like that. This is your half sun salute. Inhale, high mountain. Exhale, slow dive down. So lead with your heart, hinge at your hips, then fold in. With your inhale, lift halfway. So get all the rounding out of your back. If you have a mirror, you can look in. Make sure your spine is nice and long. Your back is flat. Exhale, fold. Now from the press of your feet, reverse swan dive to stand. So heart leads, rise up. Inhale, stretch your arms to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. All right, inhale, reach up. And this time as you exhale, hands behind your back, interlace your fingers. So roll your shoulders back and down, squeeze shoulder blades towards your spine, and if you can, start to reach your hands back away from your body. Try not to lock out your elbows. Now you can choose to stay here or add a little back bend, so knuckles towards the ground and heart towards the sky. Keep your low abdominals strong and imagine you're squeezing a block or even a pillow or a water balloon, something with your inner thighs. So you're hugging in with your inner thighs and then lift, lift, lift through your heart. Take one more big inhale. Hands stay clasped. Exhale, slow dive down, forward fold. With your fingers interlace, spinal extension. Breathe in. Really hug your back muscles around your spine. And then exhale, fold. Keep your hands clasped for about 2 more breaths. So see if you can let your head be very heavy and then reach your knuckles higher and reach your sit bones higher. Weight slightly forward in your feet. Feel that stretch in the front of your shoulders and breathe into it. One more big inhale. Exhale, hands to your low back. Gently release your clasp. Let your arms hang. You might give them a nice little shake out, kind of feel the blood rushing back through. And then when you're ready, plant your hands and step back to plank position, top of a push-up. So take a moment to just be in your plank pose. For yoga plank, your hips are level with your shoulders. Your shoulders stack over your wrists. Think of pulling your belly button in and up. Take a big, huge inhale. And then as you exhale, lower just halfway down. So like a really slow motion push-up. Inhale, press back up, high plank. Do that one more time. Exhale, lower halfway down. Don't let your belly drop. Inhale, press up. And then exhale, slow as you can go all the way to your belly. One strong, straight line. Inhale to a baby cobra. So lift your chest using back strength rather than arm strength. Press down through your shoelaces. Press down through your pelvis. And think of pulling your belly button up away from the ground. Now keep all of that. Lift your hands and reach them back towards your heels. So try not to let your feet lift. Keep pressing down through the tops of your feet. Keep pressing down through your pelvis. Lift your heart higher, breathe into your belly. One more full round. Lift, lift, lift. And let it go. Spider-Man Cobra. So hands come out wide. You're framing your mat. You're on your fingertips. Elbows face the sky. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, twist to the right and dip your left shoulder towards the ground. Inhale, come back to center. And exhale, twist to the left, dip your right shoulder down. Inhale, back to center. Lift your heart. Go once more to each side with your own breath at your own pace. An inhale will eventually bring you back to center. Exhale to release, lower down. And then meet up in a tabletop position, just hands and knees. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Pull your belly button up towards your spine. So rather than letting your belly drop, pull it up almost like you're trying to round through your lower back, but keep your upper back nice and broad. Now, keep all of that and take your right arm forward, your left leg back, spinal balance. So as you reach, don't let your belly drop towards the ground. Strong straight line from the tips of your fingers all the way back to your left heel. Imagine you're being pulled into opposite directions, so get as long as you can. Take one more big in-breath. Exhale, elbow to knee, slowly with control. Curl in, round your spine, hollow out your belly. Inhale, re-extend, lengthen out. And exhale, elbow to knee. Round, hollow out, empty out. Inhale, lengthen. And just one more time, slow motion like you're moving through honey. Exhale, elbow to knee. Draw your belly button in and up. Inhale, lengthen. Now listen here. Exhale, bring your right hand down. Pivot on your right knee so your right foot comes to the outside of your yoga mat. And then left arm to the sky. So modified side plank. Squeeze through your outer right glute and see if you can press your hips gently forward so your butt's not sticking out behind you. Reach your left arm towards the front of your mat, past the front of your mat. So lengthen from your left fingertips all the way back to your left toes. You can stay here, breathe here, or final option, bend your left knee, reach back, grab hold of your left foot, and then kick foot into hand. Pull hand back into foot and see if you can rotate your heart towards the sky. Keep breathing, slow, steady, deep breaths. Take about 2 more rounds in this posture. Each breath you take, create more space. End of your next exhale, slowly release, unwind, come back to hands and knees. And then we're going to set up for a dolphin pose. So come down to your forearms, grab opposite elbows, and that's just kind of a measurement. That's how far apart you want your arms. Bring your forearms parallel, palms face down, fingers spread wide, and really think of gripping the ground with your fingertips. Now relax your neck, let your head hang. Before we lift into our dolphin, just really press down through the belly of your forearms and squeeze your elbows in towards each other. So it's like your elbows are magnetized to each other. Keep that, and then tuck your toes under, lift your knees, lift your hips, dolphin pose. You've got about 5 breaths here. See if you can walk your toes in a little closer and lift your hips a little higher. Don't let your shoulders come forward of your elbows, and don't let your elbows drift apart. Option to take your right leg to the sky. Press up with your right foot. Press down through your forearms. Lift from your belly button, from your center. Take 3 more deep breaths. And this pose should feel hard. You should not have your head touching the ground. See if you can soften around it. So soften through your face, soften through your outer body, your outer shell. Take 1 last breath. If you want, exhale out your mouth. Bring your right foot down. Bring your knees down and sit back and rest. Child's pose, embryo pose, or puppy pose. So you can reach your arms forward. You can rest your arms by your sides. You can grab hold of your heels if that's available to you. And just take some big, deep breaths, slow, steady, smooth breaths. And just take a moment to reconnect, to come back. As you are ready, we'll find our way back to downward facing dog. So in your next breath or two, just start transitioning. All right, from your down dog, inhale your right leg to the sky. Keep your hips square so your inner thighs face each other. Your right hip faces down towards the ground, maybe slightly back. Think of pressing forward and down through your hands and then pressing up and back through your right foot. Lift from your belly button, lengthen through your spine. Take one more big inhale and then exhale, right knee to your nose. So curl in, shoulders over your wrists. Stay here as you breathe in. Press the earth away. Exhale softly, step your right foot to the top of your mat, and then we'll rise up to crescent lunge. So front knee over front ankle. Rise when you're ready. Settle in. So strong and stable through your legs. Think of driving your feet into the ground and then energetically pull your front heel back and your back toes forward. Tone through your low abdominals. Use that tone to lengthen your spine more. Lift your chest, reach through your fingertips. Take one more in-breath. Exhale, twist to the right. Left arm goes forward, right arm goes back. Maybe bend your back knee and hover it above the ground. Imagine you're trying to pull your right hip towards the back of your mat, and then imagine you're trying to pull your left thigh forward. Option to gaze back over your right hand for an extra challenge. Take 2 more deep breaths. Each time you exhale, twist, twist, twist from your center. Inhale, come back to crescent lunge, unwind. Exhale, bring your hands to your front thigh. So start to kind of lean forward and bring more weight into your right foot. Eventually, float your back foot off the ground for warrior 3. So think of a long, strong, straight line from the top of your head back to your heel. You can keep a little micro bend in your standing leg or even a big bend if you need to. Stay here, pressing your hands into the top of your thigh. Or if you want more, maybe your right arm reaches forward. Maybe both arms reach forward. Don't let your spine round. Keep the length. Keep breathing. Take 2 more deep breaths. Good job, you guys. End of your next exhale, low lunge position. So fingertips to the ground, left foot to the back of your mat. Keep your left hand down and reach your right arm up for a twist. So squeeze through your inner thighs. Back leg should be strong and powerful. Imagine you're trying to drag your right hip towards the back of your mat, but at the same time, your right knee and shin hug towards your left armpit. Twist from your center. Use your breath. Take about 3 more rounds. If you want a big challenge, see if you can hover your left hand above the ground. Nothing else changes. Take one last round. Twist to your very edge. And then end of your exhale, unwind. Bring both hands over to the left side of your yoga mat. Wide-legged forward fold. So straighten out your legs and parallel your feet. Inhale to a halfway lift, spinal extension. Exhale, fold. So think crown of your head towards the ground, sit bones towards the sky. Try to get your quads, the front of your thighs, to engage, to fire up. And you can safely stretch into the backs of your legs. Take about 3 to 5 rounds of big, deep breaths. You can grab hold of your ankles if you want. Use that as leverage. You can grab hold of the outer edges of your feet if you'd like. any variation you want to take. Take one final round here. And then next time you breathe in, find your halfway lift, fingertips on the ground. Crawl your hands to the top of your yoga mat and rotate your toes to face forward so you're back in the lunge position. Now root into your right foot and float your left leg up. Standing splits, or think of it as just a one-legged forward fold. So crown of your head towards the ground, left toes towards the sky, and then lift from your center, from your belly button. Hug in with your right inner thigh rather than dumping into your outer right hip. Option to wrap your right arm behind your right leg and press arm into leg, leg back into arm. If there's another variation you want to take, go for it. Take about 2 or 3 more breaths. Keep your left foot active, spread your toes. Keep breathing. If it's challenging, let it be challenging. See if you can stay longer than you want to, longer than is comfortable. Take one more inhale, lift your left leg super, super high. Exhale, forward fold. So just bring your left foot down next to right. Give your right leg a nice little shake out. And then both feet on the ground. Heel toe your feet out wide to the width of your yoga mat. And bring your toes out wider than your heels. Come down into a low squat position. This is called Malasana. So if possible, heels stay down. If you need to lift your heels, that's okay. Elbows at the insides of your knees. And think of using your elbows to press your knees open. Lengthen through your spine. So rather than rounding, think of a turtle coming out of its shell. Lift your heart, broaden through the front of your shoulders. Close your eyes and take 3 of the biggest breaths you can down into your low belly, your low back, your hips, your pelvic floor. Slow, steady Ujjayi breath. And if you want, last big exhale can be a sigh out your mouth. Bring your fingertips to the ground. Lift your hips to the sky. Keep your feet wide, but rotate all 10 toes to face forward so your feet are now parallel. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, bring your left hand down underneath your heart, your chest, and reach your right arm to the sky. So a little twist here. Keep your legs straight if possible and your spine really, really long. Reach up like you're trying to touch the ceiling with your right hand. Take one last round, see if you can twist a little bit further. And then end of your exhale, unwind and switch sides. So right hand to the ground, left arm to the sky. Keep the length through the backs of your legs, keep the length through your spine. Reach as high as you can, breathe. And then end of your next exhalation, unwind. Heel toe your feet in so they're about hips width distance apart. All 10 toes face forward. Halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale, bow, fold. Now press into your feet. Reverse swan dive all the way up. Inhale, stretch tall. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, flow with your breath. Inhale, high mountain pose. Exhale, slow swan dive down. So really take your time, traction out your spine, then fold. With your inhale, lift up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step back to plank. Inhale, at the top of your push-up, you can come to your knees to modify. Exhale, just halfway down. Strong arms, strong belly, strong legs even. Inhale, press up. One more time like that, halfway down. Inhale, press back up. And exhale, slow as you can go, all the way to your belly. Inhale, baby cobra. So just like we did before, this time, go ahead, float your hands up, reach them back, and do lift your feet, reach your toes back. Don't spread your legs, so hug in with your inner thighs, and then use the strength in your mid-back to lift your chest higher. Think of reaching back further, lift, 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 breathe, take one more round. Lift as high as you can and release. Spider-Man Cobra, so hands out wide up on your fingertips. Inhale, chest lifts. Exhale, twist to the right, left shoulder dips down. Inhale, back to center, lift your heart. Exhale, twist to the left, right shoulder dips down. Inhale, back to center. Once more, each side with your breath. And just feel the mobility through your shoulders and through your spine. Eventually, an inhale brings you back to center. Exhale to release. And then bring your hands to frame your mid-ribs. Press up to tabletop, hands and knees. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, fingers spread wide. Pull your belly button in and up. But keep your upper back nice and broad and nice and flat. Now, from that place, left arm goes forward and right leg goes back, spinal balance. So rather than arching your spine, think of a nice, strong, straight line. Spread your fingers and press with your back foot. One more big inhale. Exhale, elbow to knee, curl in slowly, hollow out, empty out. Inhale to re-extend and lengthen. Think of moving in slow motion. Exhale, elbow to knee, like you're moving through molasses. Hollow out. Inhale, re-extend. Get as long as you can. And then just one more time. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale, lengthen, grow long. Exhale, set your left hand on the ground. Pivot on your left knee. And open up, right arm to the sky, modified side plank. So think of, rather than sticking your butt out behind you, think of pressing your hips gently forward. And then reach your right arm towards the top of your mat, past the top of your mat. So big long line from your right fingertips back to your right toes, lengthen and stretch. Stay here, or option, bend your right knee, reach back, grab hold of your right foot. Kick foot into hand, pull hand back into foot, and possibly start to rotate your heart towards the sky. Spread your right toes as you hold your foot in your hand. Breathe into your belly. Take 2 more full rounds. End of your next exhale, very slowly with control. Release. Unwind, come back to your hands and your knees, and then we're going to set up for a dolphin pose one more time. So lower to your forearms. If it's helpful, grab opposite elbows. That's how far apart you want your arms. Then forearms parallel, palms face down, fingers spread wide, and especially press down through your thumbs and your index fingers and your inner wrists. Now relax your neck, squeeze your elbows in towards each other like they're magnetized. So as you do that, you should feel your shoulders get stronger. Try to keep that. Tuck your toes under, lift your knees, lift your hips, dolphin pose. So don't let your head touch the ground. If your head is touching the ground, that means you're collapsing into your shoulders. Lift from your center. Maybe walk your toes in just a little bit closer. It's fine if you need to bend your knees a little or a lot. Stay here or take your left leg to the sky. You've got about 3 more breaths. Don't let your elbows drift apart. Don't let your head touch the ground. Keep pressing the earth away. Keep lifting from your center. Keep breathing deeply. Soften your face. Unclench your jaw. Take one more great, big, huge breath. If you want, you can exhale out your mouth. Left foot to the ground, knees to the ground. Sit back and take a little rest. Child's pose, embryo pose, or puppy pose. Breathe into your low back. slow, deep breaths. Good job, you guys. In your next breath or two, we'll find our way back to downward facing dog. So start transitioning as you're ready. Fire up your breath if you've lost it. All right, from downward facing dog, inhale, take your left leg to the sky. So keep your inner thighs facing each other. Keep your hips square. I don't care how high your left leg goes, but make it as straight and as strong and as powerful as you possibly can. So think of really pressing up and back through your left foot, pressing forward and down through your hands, and then keep lifting right at your center. Take one more big inhale, fill up, active through your left foot. Exhale, left knee to your nose, curl in. Stay here, take a huge inhalation like you're blowing up a balloon in your back body. Exhale, step your left foot to the top of your mat. And then rise up, crescent lunge, settle in. So front knee over front ankle, high on the ball of your back foot. Hips are square, so both hips face directly forward. Think of really driving your feet into the ground and then energetically pull front heel back, back toes forward. Engage through your core to lengthen through your spine. So as you pull your belly button back and up, you feel your spine and your side bodies lengthen. Lift through your chest, reach through your fingertips. One more big in-breath. Exhale, slow twist to the left. So right arm goes forward, left arm goes back. Option to bend your back knee and hover it above the ground. That'll make it a little more intense. Squeeze through your inner thighs. Think about dragging your left hip towards the back of your mat and dragging your back thigh towards the front of your mat. Take 2 more rounds. Option to gaze back over your left hand for a little more challenge. Use your exhales to twist, twist, twist. Next time you inhale, come back to crescent. Unwind, reach up. And then exhale, hands to your front thigh. Kind of lean forward and bring more weight into your left foot. As you're ready, slowly float your back foot off the ground, warrior 3 variation. So long, strong, straight line from the top of your head back to your right heel. Press your hands into your thigh and use that to lengthen your spine more. Stay here or reach your left arm forward. Stay here or reach both arms forward. Don't let your spine round. So longest, strongest line of energy from the crown of your head back to your heel. Take 2 more deep breaths. This is a difficult pose, so if you're falling in and out, that's just fine. It's completely normal. End of your next exhalation is slow with as much control as possible, low lunge position. So fingertips to the ground, right toes to the back of your mat. Right hand stays down. I like to lift to my fingertips, up to you. And then left arm to the sky, revolve, lunge, twist. Powerful through your back leg, so don't get lazy in your back leg. Don't forget about it. Squeeze through your inner thighs. Hug your left knee and shin towards your right armpit. At the same time, think of dragging your left hip towards the back of your mat. Wherever you are at, feel your breath move through you. Use your exhales to work your twist a little bit deeper. Give it about 2 more rounds. If you want that challenge, hover your right hand above the ground. Nothing else moves. Good job, you guys. End of your next exhalation. Unwind, wide-legged forward fold. So hands over to the right side of your yoga mat. Parallel your feet, straighten out your legs. Inhale, lift halfway up, lengthen your spine. And then keep that length in your lower back as you fold. Exhale. And you're welcome to explore with any movement. If there is something that would feel good to you, go for it. You've got about 5 to 7 deep breaths. So when we hold these poses a little bit longer, rather than checking out, rather than getting distracted and starting to think about what else you have to do today, can you be completely present and tune into your breath? Use this as an opportunity to make your breath even bigger. Use this time to get everything you can out of this posture. Think of just getting all the juice out of it. Take one last round. Next, inhale, halfway lift, fingertips on the ground. Crawl your hands to the top of your mat. Rotate your toes to face forward. So back to a lunge position for just a second. Then root into your left foot. Right leg to the sky, standing splits. So you can choose to keep your hips completely square or open your right hip up. Just don't sink into your outer left hip. So your standing leg, make it strong. Hug in with your left inner thigh. Lift from your belly button. I can't say that enough times. If you can use your core in all these poses, it will make it feel so much easier. It's still hard, but it's hard in a good way. It's hard in a way that you're using the right muscles, that you're being efficient in your body. So your whole body is working together to support you. You've got about 2 more breaths. You can wrap your left arm behind your left leg if you want to. Keep your right leg strong, spread through your right toes. Maybe reach your right leg just a little bit higher. Let your neck relax, let your face soften. One more big inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. So right foot comes down at the top of your yoga mat and give your left leg a nice little shake out. All right. Heel toe your feet out nice and wide again. Toes wider than heels. Come down into your low squat, Malasana. So again, try to keep your heels down if possible. Hands at your heart center, lengthen through your spine, broaden through the front of your shoulders. Stay here and simply breathe, or we're gonna add a twist this time. So left arm reaches out to the left. Think of pressing your arm into your leg back into your arm, and then right arm to the sky. Gaze up at your right fingertips, open up through the right side of your chest. Breathe one more round. End of your exhale, unwind and switch sides. So right hand reaches out. Press your arm into your leg back into your arm. So you're using that as leverage. Left arm to the sky. Open up through the left side of your chest. Maybe gaze up. Slow, deep breaths. Think of breathing all the way down into your hips, into your pelvis. One last round. And then end of your exhale, unwind. All right, you guys, from here, take a moment and just listen before you do. So either plant your hands, step back to plank, move through a vinyasa, end up in child's pose, or you can play with planting your hands, working into a crow pose. So walk your knees up as far as you can on your triceps. Lean forward like you're going into chaturanga, doing a push-up with your arms. Think of lifting from your waistline, from your belly button, and then maybe float one or both feet off the ground, crow pose. From here, only if you want, you can play with a jump back to chaturanga with bent elbows. Looks like this. So you just kind of shoot your legs back, move through a vinyasa, end up in child's pose. So everybody in your own time, find your way there. And once you are in child's pose, just reconnect to your breath. Notice what's going on inside. Give yourself about 2 more grounding, restorative breaths. And then start your transition back to downward facing dog. from your down dog, inhale your right leg high. Exhale, open your right hip. So bend your right knee, reach your right knee out to the right, and then up towards the ceiling, up towards the sky. Try not to lean to the left so you're not dumping into your left side. Everything is hugging in towards midline, and then from there, you're opening, you're extending. Take one more big in-breath. Listen here, exhale, right knee to your left elbow, so a little twist. Inhale, three-legged down dog, right leg to the sky. Exhale, right knee, right elbow, or as high as you can get on your arm. Hips are level with your shoulders. Inhale, three-legged dog. Now listen, exhale, pigeon pose. So bring your right shin to the top of your mat and gently set your body down. So take a moment here. Think of energetically pulling your front knee back and your back knee forward. So what we're trying to do is plug the femur bones into the socket so we're not sinking into our joints. We can safely stretch into our muscles. So once you have that, start your bow forward, humble pigeon. And even as you're bowing forward, think of pulling your right hip back. Then if you want to go deeper, scoot your back knee back further. Slow, steady Ujjayi breath. Notice, where are you tensing up? Where are you resisting? So for me, a lot of times I'm clenching my jaw. Sometimes I'm tightening up through my hands or my neck or my shoulders. So just start to notice, where do you hold your tension without even realizing it? And then by noticing it, maybe you can start to soften a little bit more. Take about 4 or 5 more breaths. So allow yourself to just be in sensation. Allow yourself to settle a little bit more with each exhale. If you would like, your last couple of breaths, last couple of exhales might come out your mouth. Slowly begin to lift your upper body. Plant your hands, spread your fingers nice and wide, hands shoulder width distance apart. Tuck your back toes under. And then before you lift out of this, see if you can just lift your back knee off the ground and find the strength in your back leg. Now from there, press down and extend your right leg back and up. Give it a nice little shake out. If you would like to flip your dog as a counter pose, that's fine with me. You might take some circles with your right knee or circles with your right ankle. Eventually set your right foot on the ground and walk it out, pedal out your heels. If you want, you can take a vinyasa in between sides. If you do not want to, that's just fine. Stay in your down dog. So if you're taking your vinyasa, come forward to your plank. On an exhale, lower down. Inhale to lift and open. And exhale, downward facing dog. All right, everybody, inhale, left leg to the sky. Open your left hip, so bend your left knee. Think heel towards your butt, flex your toes. Reach your left knee out to the left, then up, up, up. So peel that left hip open. Try not to lean into your right hand or into your right hip. So everything hugs in and lifts up and then opens up.
Active through your left foot. Flex your toes. Press into both of your hands nice and evenly. Take one more in-breath. Exhale, left knee to your right elbow. So keep your chest squared to the ground, hips level with your shoulders as you come forward. Inhale, three-legged dog, back up. Exhale, left to left, as high as you can get on your left arm. Inhale, three-legged dog. And then again, listen here. Exhale, pigeon pose. So left shin to the top of your mat. Set your body down gently. So you want your left knee wider than your left hip. It's closer to the outer edge of your mat. Pull left hip back, right hip forward. So plug the femur bones into the socket. Feel that strength, that structure to support the stretch. When you're ready, bow forward, humble pigeon. And continue to energetically drag your left hip towards the back of your mat. If you want to go deeper, back knee can scoot back further. And breathe, slow, steady breaths. Face is soft, neck is relaxed. Hands are soft, fingers are soft. Take about 3 more rounds. You can exhale out your mouth anytime. And then slowly, gently start to lift your upper body. Plant your hands, spread your fingers wide, tuck your back toes. Just for a minute, lift your back knee off the ground and feel your back leg get strong, your back thigh engage. And then as you're ready, press down and lift your left leg up. Give it a nice little shake out. Flip your dog if you want to. Circle your knee if you want to. Circle your ankle. Eventually, regular down dog, pedal out your heels, walk out your dog. If you want one last vinyasa, go for it. All right, you guys, take one more huge breath into your down dog. And then gently set your knees down. Come into a seat first. And then all the way down onto your back. So hug your knees in towards your chest and just gently rock from side to side. Massage out your low back. And then keep your right knee hugging in, left leg extends forward. Scoot your hips slightly over to the right side of your mat. Reach your right arm out to the right and roll over onto your left side body. Gaze up or over your right shoulder. And breathe. Make sure you're on the outside of your left hip, and the outside of your left foot should be against the ground. So you can kind of maneuver your hips around if you need to. Take about 2 or 3 more breaths. And then as you're ready, roll back onto your spine. Keep your left leg extended and hug your right knee up towards your right armpit. So hands around the front of your right shin. Give it a great big squeeze in and up. And then half happy baby with your right leg. So right hand grabs your right foot, the outer edge if possible. If not, you can just grab your ankle, shin, or the back of your thigh. And then flex your right toes and pull down with your right arm. Imagine there's a heavy sandbag on top of your left thigh. So try to create a nice neutral spine, backs of your shoulders, backs of your hips root down. End of your next exhale, release your right leg, take it out next to your left leg, full body stretch. So arms long, legs long, pull yourself apart, reach, reach, reach. And draw your left knee in. Scoot your hips over to the left side of your mat just a little bit. Left arm reaches out to the left, roll over onto your right side. Gaze up or over your left shoulder. Breathe. Think big Buddha belly breaths, couple more rounds. Feel your belly expand and contract. Ease your way back onto your spine. Keep your right leg extended. Hug your left knee in and up towards your left armpit. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And half happy baby with your left leg. So sole of your left foot faces the sky. Grab your foot if you can. If not, ankle, shin, or the back of your thigh is perfect. Imagine that heavy sandbag now on top of your right thigh. Neutral spine. Couple deep breaths. And then if you do want to take this into a full happy baby, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, release your left leg, maybe one more full body stretch. Just move through any finishing poses, any finishing movements of your choice. So anything that will complete your practice for you. And then eventually just settle in to your final relaxation pose. So corpse pose with your legs extended, your arms out by your sides, palms face up, or any other variation that allows you to relax and soften and let go. So you'll rest here for about 2 to 3 minutes. Try to just allow yourself to rest, to let go. So in the yogic philosophy, this is the entire reason we have our physical practice, just to wear out our bodies so that now we can rest and be still. Our minds can be a little more still and our bodies can just relax. So let your breath become effortless. Let your body just melt into the ground. And I will bring you out of your Shavasana in just a couple minutes. So for now, just be.
Take a deep breath in and exhale, let it go. Start to bring small, gentle movements back into your body. Eventually roll to either side, fetal position. Take a breath or two there. And then using the strength in your arms, guide yourself up to a seat. So right back where we began, sitting up nice and tall, eyes closed, hands at your heart center. So take one last moment here, bow your head to your heart, and just acknowledge yourself for taking time out of your day to show up for your practice, to show up for yourself. Tune into your body, listen to your breath, and reconnect with a deeper part of yourself. I thank you guys so much for showing up for me, letting me guide you through your practice. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste. All right, friends.